Hello, I'm Gemma and this is Non-Fic Books, and I have my first video for Non-Fiction November 2016 coming up for you. I want to just quickly say hello to all the new subscribers who have joined me for Non-Fiction November, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all about the books that you choose to read for this challenge. The first book that I've read was for the new side of things, and that was Jens Muhling's A Journey into Russia. I know absolutely nothing about Russia, so that's why I picked this book. And I only got it last year, so it's relatively new to me. This book was first published in English in 2014 and was translated by Eugene H. Hayworth, and is published by the Armchair Traveller by Bookhouse and is 271 pages long. Originally it was published in German, as Jens Muhling is a German journalist who focuses on Russia and has done it for quite a long time. This, however, is a travelogue rather than a piece of journalism, and it's looking at his journey through Russia from east to west. East to west, I think? West to east, maybe? I'm not sure. But he travels across the country and then back. And I just can't remember off the top of my head which way round that is. But he is in Moscow, he's in St. Petersburg, he goes to the steppes or steeps, I'm never sure how you pronounce that. And he travels between both the cities and through more wild, smaller parts of Russia, and I thought that was really interesting to give quite a nice wide overview of both Russian culture now and the history, because I mean Russia is so massive that no book is going to really get a particularly full glimpse of the entire place, but I thought this did a very good job as far as any book who is 271 pages could be. He is writing about his experience of Russia, the people he meets in Russia, and with every place he introduces some of the history and the culture to allow you to understand why the current situation is like it is, and how certain beliefs and value systems can be rife or can be so contradictory in the same place. And I thought that was great because I know a little bit about Russian history, but it's quite a lot older. It's Catherine the Great or Peter the Great, rather than some of the more modern, especially communism and Stalinism. I didn't know all that much about it, and obviously that still has a massive impact on Russian culture now, so that was very interesting to learn a lot more about this to help understand how certain beliefs and just the way that the certain areas of Russia function can actually exist, because from my very sort of Western English point of view, some of the beliefs and value systems are incredibly alien to me and just seem very superstitious, and this explains why certain views like that may well be a lot more rife. This was really good. I think that as an introduction to Russia, something like a travelogue was a really great choice, especially as he did, as I say, include that history, because I think it really gave a nice full picture, as anything this short could have done, on Russia. The writing, once I got into it, I really enjoyed it. I don't know whether it was because it was translated from the German or whether it's just his particular writing style, but it took me about 25 to 30 pages to really get into the writing style and to be able to find it quite flowing. At first I just couldn't settle into the rhythm of the words, and it just didn't seem to flow. It was quite a lot of work at first, but after I did get into it I found it very easy to read and flew through it in just a few days. I really enjoyed this. I'd highly recommend it, and I believe it was nominated and shortlisted for the Thwaites Wainwright Prize last year, and I can see why, because I think this was a really well researched and different book, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it and would recommend it. If you know absolutely loads about Russia, it might not add all that much, although he does go and meet some very quirky people, including someone who believes that he's the new Messiah, people who are very communist still and fighting for that, people who believe that we've actually only been just over 1,000 years since Jesus, because history is lies. So he does meet some really interesting people, and you may not have heard of those even if you're into Russia, but as the strong point of this, I think, is a great introduction to people who know, like myself, quite little about Russia. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great, and I'd be quite interested in reading similar books on other places that I don't know absolutely masses about. So if you know of any sort of well-written, thought-out travelogues or pieces of travel writing which include history to different places, leave some comments down below, because I'd be really interested, because I thought this was a great general introduction to a country. What have you been reading for your new choices? If you've done new, which one have you chosen to do first? Any of the others? I'd love to know. Leave anything down below, and hopefully I will see you next week for the second of the categories. Not quite sure, because I'm reading a few books at the moment, so I'm not quite sure which one I'll finish first. But hopefully I will see you next week. Bye!